That's what the audience sounds like to me.
Dave played everyone. He pointed this very thing out, and these people are doing exactly what he was talking about. I found two gentlemen talking out of their butt and proving the point he was making in the special. The check shirt guy and the son of the fat guy from Young Turks. There is a link to a Vox article in the description of their video. So this is gonna be fun. I don't know who these people are, but let's hear them out.
Everybody is going to hate me on both sides.
I know. I feel like I'm perfectly capable of saying in this special there were things I thought were funny and things I thought were really not funny.
Great, that is your opinion. Not everyone has a similar sense of humor.
Like not even and
Well, I would say not even just not funny.
Right. No, but yeah.
So you should understand if you haven't seen it, this is Dave Chappelle. If you're not familiar with him, he's a comedian. He's my like over the course of my life, he's my favorite comedian.
No, you are clearly lying. He was never your favorite comedian. In fact, I think you never watched his stuff. 'Cause if you did, you would know that he has not changed.
Because of his views on trans people.
No, not at all. And I remember a time when he did multiple specials where it never came up.
What, really? Do you even know who Dave is?
But he's a comedian, he's been around for a long time. He is increasingly that sort of comedian where if you criticize him on a thing, that's what his next special is about. And it feels like, we were talking about this earlier, it feels like a lot of comedians reach that point where all they want to talk about is the stuff that they're not allowed to talk about that they always talk about.
Yes, and at that point, that particular comedian is the funniest. What's the point of comedy? Son of the fat guy from Young Turks is just spouting out everything he read in the Vox article. Just because he thinks Vox knows best.
Just because of the subject matter of a joke.
Anytime someone starts a sentence with, just because of the subject matter of the joke, the cringe just takes over every single aspect of my existence.
Me does not mean that joke is off limits. Like it is my philosophy that there can be a funny joke about literally any subject in the world, because maybe the joke is about how that subject is terrible, is a really sad, terrible thing. But I don't think it's off limits. I just think that you need to tell the right jokes.
Yes, leave it to this guy. Because he loves sounding smart. He definitely knows the difference. He is super educated on jokes. He knows what the right joke is. It's not about right or wrong. It's about whether the joke is funny or not.
And my criticism of this special is,
hold your horses, everyone. The guy is about to tell you his critique. Listen closely.
when it comes to like his entire subject of LGBTQ+, even though he has like some funny structures of jokes, and just because of the structure of certain jokes, you can get laughs along the way. Just altogether, it feels like what you're talking about, which is this moment that many comedians arrive at, which is they actually found themselves on the top of comedy because it is true that they really like tapped into how most people, or at least millions and millions of people, were feeling at some point. But the thing about society is it evolves over time. But if you were on top telling a certain kind of joke, you probably don't want to change. And you like everything about that life. And it's totally natural and totally fine. But I think the really good comedians find out what's happening and adapt to it. And it seems like Dave Chappelle isn't doing that.
Okay, where do I begin? There are so many things that are objectively wrong with what the check shirt guy said. Let me break this down. Just because you are offended doesn't mean it isn't funny. This is exactly what is happening nowadays. We got these stuck-up people trying to censor everything. This is the need of the day. Dave is talking about something really relevant. Do you not know the amount of hashtags and everything that starts cause of the cancel culture? Dave does not have to change or get with the times. You need to start reading things other than Vox or Vice. I thought these guys are just gonna spout out some liberal talking points. But they are genuinely stupid.
What I get from Dave Chappelle on these particular topics, and the whole thing is not just about the community, but it's a big part of it. It's half, maybe, it feels like, or a good amount anyway, is it seems like he thinks everyone feels the way he feels, but they won't say it.
Okay, we have a genius alert here. This guy thinks way ahead. Son of fat guy from Young Turks can look through your soul. The whole world is a game and he knows everything. Because he is not just woke, He is ultra woke.
Right, so
And I just don't think that that's the case.
So here's specifically what's happening is that, he fancies himself like a real truth teller, someone who is really like a thought leader in evolving a conversation.
Okay, you got me hooked. Let's see what is it exactly that you are trying to say.
Which is interesting because the reason that he left comedy for a while is because he felt he'd failed that. And he felt like it wasn't working. There was also a lot of pressure because he had made a lot of money. He's talked about the pressure itself being an issue. But he left because he didn't live up to a standard that he really thought he was. And then in his own mind, he's like, I didn't live up to it, essentially, so he left. So he does have an ear out for that kind of stuff.
What are you trying to say, check shirt guy? What is the point of your existence? Feels like you just read some random facts about Dave, and now you just have to say them. To seem more educated on the topic. What is the point?
It's just that rather than really listen and figure out how the world is, he's just kind of hammering down on these things. And there are people still laughing at his terrible jokes.
Oh yeah,
and those people really want their EA, they're at the special and they tell you ahead of time, the warm-up comedians, like, laugh at everything. Like that's how specials work. And then there's people who really do believe that. And there's always gonna be enough people for Dave Chappelle who are laughing at jokes like that he can fill a room with them. But the problem is, he thinks that those people laughing in that big room are still how the entire world is.
No, you are wrong. Let me tell you something. It's you. It's not the entire world. You don't have a sense of humor. Seeing the dislike bar on the video should tell you that. People don't agree with your opinion. For once, have some original thought rather than quoting stuff just from the article.
Liked him for a really long time. I just wish he would spend more time talking about all the other things and not focusing special after special after special on these things where I just think you're behind the times and you don't understand the consequences of what you're saying on a lot of individuals who have been victimized, attacked, harassed constantly. For people, like, you're doing it to be funny and to joke, but a lot of the people who are saying similar things are not doing it for that reason.
Okay, these people are really not informed. This is what happens when you don't know what you are talking about. But you just have to put out a video. I would want these people to not do this off the cuff. And just try to think about things with an open mind. Maybe they might come up with something original. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. I still don't have a catchphrase.